this Metsy defense, and Jerry's not going to make any changes with anything going on there with this lineup that won the last 2 games in Houston and started hitting. You see Pagan's been playing a very, very good center field in that big ballpark in Minute Maid Park in Houston. He's got 4 outfield assists already in 23 starts.
And that no more important than that outfield assist in yesterday's game, huh?
Gary Sheffield, who was placed on the disabled list yesterday over his initial objections. Hey, you were talking about Ollie, Ronnie, and I was wondering what you made of Ollie's quote after his last start when he said walks are a part of the game, and kind of tried to brush aside the fact that he's walking so many hitters.
Well, you know, I played with someone, and he'll remain nameless, and I'll never forget, he was struggling, and he said to the papers, you know, I'm not panicking yet. And I remember the manager said, you know what, he should start. And that's, I think, what you have with Oliver. I think that he's trying to downplay it. He's trying to move forward. And I totally understand what he's doing, because he's trying to talk himself into having a great second half. But the most important thing for him is that he just needs to be overly aggressive. I think that he has to get back to where he was a couple of years ago. And that's, you know, not... I find like he's thinking too much out there, that he really is analyzing every pitch instead of just letting it go, and I think that's his style.
Well, led by Ollie, the Mets pitching staff has walked the most hitters of any staff in the National League, and you wouldn't have figured that starting the season.
Well, and it's driving Danny Worth and, of course, the pitching coach nuts, but I will tell you, and Jerry has intimated it, and it's very easy. If the Mets are going to get back in this, there's only one way they can get back in it, and that's their starting pitching. We've seen the last couple of nights, Levon being able to hold it together over 7 yesterday. Saturday night, Jonathan Neese coming up with a brilliant effort. And here, Oliver, this is what you have to do. Night in and night out, have a good pitched effort.
And it's got to be encouraging for the starting pitching staff to see what happened yesterday, that Levon could have a bad first inning and it didn't cost him the game.
Absolutely. And you're in this big ballpark. You're back in your home ballpark. If you get behind someone, go hit it.
And the Mets have played well here at Citi Field this year, where in the past this ball club, this collective group, struggled at Shea Stadium. Well, they played good in this ballpark.
John Neese, who pitched such a fine game on Saturday, looking on as Ollie gets set to get it started. 16 minutes late, Dexter Fowler leads off, and he takes a strike, and we're underway at Citi Field. Fowler having a terrific rookie year, hitting just .254, but his on-base percentage at .360, and in July at .425. And the speedy Fowler fouls it back 0-2.
Well, this young Fowler is an amazing talent. Clint Barmas on deck. Just one of those diamonds in the rough that they're trying to teach on the fly here in the major leagues. But he's been great defensively for them. Switch hitter, of course. Another out of that. A lot of product out of Atlanta.
Well, he hit .335 last year at Tulsa.
And it's in there for a call, strike 3. Perez picks off the outside corner, 3 pitches, and Fowler is struck out for the first out of the night.
Can you imagine the young Fowler gets a scouting report before the game? Hey, this guy doesn't throw a lot of strikes. He walked 6 in his last game. Punches him out on the outside black with that fastball.
So 1 out and nobody on, and now Clint Barmas, the second baseman, who's hitless in his last 19 at-bats. And Ollie comes to the inside corner with a fastball, and he hasn't thrown ball 1 yet. Barmas struggling since the All-Star break after being handed the starting nod when Jim Tracy took over as manager, and he lofts one into left field, and right there is Corey Sullivan in his first Shea Stadium start as a Met, playing against his former team. Did I say Shea?
You're $20.
Okay,
$20.
Hold on.
$20.
Let me
Make
get
a holla
it for you.
Just buy us dinner somewhere. Oh, Carrie's got it. All right.
We'll take the whole crew out after the year.
Carrie, take it away. Would you put it in the vault?
Put it in the vault. We'll take you everyone out to dinner, Carrie. Okay? There we go. Very nice.
Jeez. It's been 3 months since that happened, I think.
The way you're going, Keith, you and I will just have the tip.
She looks like Carrie looked like Vanna White disappearing behind the curtain there.
Garrett Atkins sitting third in the order. Todd Helton getting a night off against the left-hander. Atkins, a guy who has seen his career go backwards this season, but has been on a little bit of a run lately trying to get his season restarted. The guy who's twice driven in over 100 runs in his career, drove in 99 last year in what was deemed an off season, but this year has fallen way off. And he pops one up, and Castillo is right there on the outfield grass to grab it. A 1-2-3 opening inning for Oliver Perez, and it cost him just 7 pitches to get there. Middle of the first with no score. Doing a brilliant job of getting on base. Jeff Francoeur has been a breath of fresh air for the Mets. 14 RBIs in 12 games with the Mets. And Jerry, other than the catcher, sticking with the same lineup that's been productive the last few days as Pagan takes strike one from Ubaldo Jimenez.
Well, Jimenez just has outstanding stuff. His last 16 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings. He's never given up more than 4 earned runs. And he's starting to get all his pitches over. This is a guy who throws 95, can sink the fastball, has a slider, a curveball, a splitter, and a changeup. I mean, just unbelievable young talent.
Well, he's 1-1 lifetime against the Mets, and I saw that win in Colorado, and he had terrific stuff running. And, you know, like you said, if he gets his stuff over, and particularly that slider is wicked.
25-year-old Dominican who introduced himself to the nation in the postseason of 2007 when he was just riveting amidst the Rockies' run to the World Series. 1-2 to Pagan, and the breaking ball in the dirt. Pagan with an 8-game hitting streak going, hitting at .309 over his first 97 at-bats, and he has been taking advantage of his opportunity, getting to play every day and hit leadoff in the absence of Beltran and Reyes, and taking full advantage now that he's healthy. At his feet, and it's 3-2. Jimenez will throw a lot of pitches out of the strike zone, sometimes effectively wild.
Well, you know what's great about him? Watch that right arm. See how he flips that back behind him, a la Rick Sutcliffe in his day, Keith.
A little bit of Don Drysdale almost.
Yeah, really just flips that ball and holds it behind him. Got to be a strong young man to do that.
Popped up, shallow left, long run in for Spilborn's the left fielder, and he gets there for the first out.
Watch how he cups it right behind him. He'll take it out of the glove, and the way he delays at the top of his rotation, watch how he cups that back behind him, and then will come out of it. And that's how, to tell you the truth, guys who have great breaking balls will do that. Don Sutton, you talked about Rick Sutcliffe. The only problem is when you cup the ball like that, you put a lot of strain on your front shoulder. You have to be very strong to do that.
Here's the red-hot Luis Castillo taking strike one. Keith, does it make it harder to pick the ball up when a guy cups it like that?
I know what it does. That extra little wiggle, the delivery of the ball is a split second behind the normal delivery of a normal pitcher, Gare. In other words, and it threw me off. I hated Sutcliffe because if he had that wiggle, I had to stand up and really see the ball out of his hand before I made a move, and it really made me kind of a singles hitter off of him.
And the breaking ball in for a strike. So you're saying it's a timing thing more than anything?
Yes, because he will step his plant foot when he throws, where most guys get rid of the ball at that point. He's a split second behind, and it throws you off your rhythm.
As opposed to a guy that throws like a catcher. Really short arm, brings the ball and shows it to you really quickly.
2-2 to Castillo, who has his batting average up over 300 for the year. Toughest man in the league to strike out. And the splitter down, and it's 3-2.
See, watch. We can see. Watch his foot land, and he's just a little behind. And as a hitter, you're facing 99% of the pitchers, and there's the grip right there. And it looks like a splitter grip.
Yeah, he's got a split finger. That's the pitch there.
3-2, slap foul.
So let's not, Gary, forget that 98% of the pitchers throw normally. He's the 2%, so it really throws you off. It's peculiar.
Well, anything that upsets your timing, kind of like Rob Nen with his toe tap.
Yeah.
3-2 into left center field, falling, and that's a base hit for Castillo. Over to cut it off Fowler. Castillo to second, and he's in with a double, and you just can't get Luis Castillo out right now. We saw him hit a ball almost out of the ballpark left-handed yesterday to right center, and this time driving the ball to left center.
Well, you got to play him down the right field, the left field line, excuse me.
An interesting choice. No, he had a change-up grip and then went right to the fastball. 97 miles an hour. It doesn't matter. The nice grip and the rip.
And right down the pipe. And, you know, you've got to play Louis down the left field line with your corner outfielder, your left fielder. But you've really got to move over your center fielder.
You know, he's always been such a slap hitter left-handed, but just these last few days, since he's been hot, he's hitting the ball with so much more authority left-handed.
I was watching the rerun of the game this morning, and I had to flip it back because I didn't believe it was Louis. I mean,
the ball hit the right
center.
Yeah. It certainly shocked Hunter Pence.
He was running for days because he was playing so shallow.
David Wright has a 5-game hitting streak going, hitting at .318, 8th in the National League. That's looking to strike first in the opening inning, and Jimenez goes to the outside corner with a fastball at 97.
And you can see the Mets are known, don't forget, the National League knows they like to steal third base a lot. So Barmes has to hold him very tight, but it leaves that hole open for David, and David likes to go that way.
Castillo has not been stealing many bases lately, despite his hot streak, despite the fact he's been on base a ton. 11 steals for the year. And David grounds one down to Razor Shines. 0-2.
And we'll take a look at the Colorado Rocky defense, brought to you by your Ford dealers. And you can see 7 outfield assists from Mr. Spielborg. He's a nice little outfielder defensively. And if Fowler has given them the center fielder they've been looking for. And that up there in Denver in that Mile High Stadium there, that ballpark, they've got to have fleet-footed outfielders. It's a big ballpark.
And David chases it away. And Jimenez has his first strikeout, 2 down in the inning.
You have got to get this young man early, because if you get behind 2 strikes, that is the piranha ball. I don't know what it is, but it's a slider that you just can't hit. That's how good it is. 98 miles an hour, up in the strike zone, and then that slider down and away.
Well, he's the type of pitcher, Ronnie, if you're 0-2 as a hitter, you've really got to shorten up and just try to go. Now, there's Bob Apodaca, former Met.
Great pitching coach, by the way.
Longtime Rockies pitching coach. Once filled that job for the Mets. Now Daniel Murphy with a runner at second and 2 out. And that one gets away just a moment from Iannetta, not far enough for Castillo to advance.
The most difficult pitch for any catcher is that first pitch fastball that he just throws right into the ground, and Louis thinks about it, but discretion the better part of valor with 2 outs and on second base.
Bit surprised the outfield defense is straight up to Murphy. Dexter Fowler in center is straight up, and he should be shaded with the hard throwing Jimenez.
Pulled toward the hole. Barmes smothers it, gets up and throws him out. Clint Barmes saving a run and getting the out at first base to keep the Mets off the scoreboard in the opening inning. Terrific play by Barmes. Oliver Perez back to the mound for the second with no score. ready for real business. Brad Hopp leads off the second inning for Colorado. And Hopp takes a breaking ball strike from Oliver Perez. Hopp having a terrific year, 5th in the National League in batting. Made the All-Star team this year, 28 doubles, that's 3rd in the league. And he drives one into right field for the first Colorado hit of the game.
Well, this Colorado team, usually their numbers are skewed. They have better numbers at home, Ron. But this team this year, they got their record is 27-21 at home, 27-23 away. They played well away. They've hit more home runs on the road, 58, than they have at home. And there's Don Baylor from '79 American League MVP,
former Colorado manager,
one of the good guys. What a nice man.
What a competitor he was, right?
He's in Boston in the World Series.
Here's Troy Tulowitzki, who has turned his season around of late. See him standing upright. That's a new twist for Tulowitzki, and it has helped his resurgence.
Well, he's got 18 bombs this year, and that's a big power drive for him. I'm sure he's not happy with the batting average at .256. He's been struggling against lefties.
He's happy compared to where he was.
Yes, he got off to a terrible start.
He does into a lot of double plays. All he could use one here with the runner at first and nobody out. And Hopp is back.
Tulowitzki, though, make no bones about it, he's going to be a star in this league. Great defensive shortstop, probably one of the best arms in baseball at his position.
Can't say that I care for this road uniform. Do you, Ron?
No. Ugh, tired.
2-0 to Tulowitzki.
I don't mind the black, but I mean, if you're going to wear the black top, I think you should have the regular. Get rid of the sleeveless, and maybe wear the purple long sleeve shirt with it. That would look nice.
I'm making notes here. I'm going to pass it along to the Rockies personnel.
George Sedaris from Canale just called. He wants you to go to Milan with him.
Hit to center field, chasing Pagan back to the warning track, looking up, and it's out of here. Troy Tulowitzki with a 2-1 homer to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. His 19th home run of the year gives the Rockies a 2-0 lead.
Wow. That ball was out of the strike zone too, Ronnie. It was up in the almost above the letters, maybe chin high.
He has not even tapped into the talent. It's supposed to be in, and it's out and over the middle of the plate, or up. I mean, not even the middle.
Ollie has struggled against right-handers, and if you're an opposing manager, you've got to run a predominantly right-hand lineup against Oliver. They're hitting .310 against him this year. Lefties only .222.
Well, this ILTV pitch differential, this will be our largest all season. What's the difference between down and in and up and away? That's about 3 feet. And Tulowitzki was ready.
Now, Tulowitzki hit 24 home runs as a rookie 2 years ago. Injury plagued year last year. He hit only 8 and got off to a rough start this year, but 19 now. And he is rolling. And so are the Rockies with a 2-0 lead. Ryan Spilborg's the batter. And he fouls off the 2-0 pitch.
Well, we talked Gary on the road, Ronnie, and we saw Ollie pitch. And Ollie loves to pound right-handers inside. And he missed a lot inside on his last start. So you cannot afford to make a mistake out over the plate against the right-handers.
squad?
Well, he has 11 home runs this year, and he's especially done well against lefties. He's hitting .308 against left-handers this year.
There's Todd Helton getting a night off tonight. The Rockies, well, the Mets last night first. Ron, we had to circle around a little bit. We got delayed because of the rain last night. But the Rockies, they wouldn't let him leave Denver. They were stuck on the runway on the plane for 3 hours before they took off.
I've been on flights with you when they're circling. You can become quite contrary.
How about with Rusty?
I thought Keith was very subdued last night. He was making friends all over the
I
plane.
was very talkative.
Very nice.
It was a chatterbox last night. Out of character.
And Iannetta gets drilled, so he'll take his base. And that'll clear the pitcher spot here in the second. So Ollie hits his third batter of the year.
Sometimes a pitch can come from an adjustment made from 10 minutes before. The pitch to Tulowitzki was supposed to be inside. He missed up and away. So that time his target, he made sure if I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss way inside. Result, hit by pitch.
So here's Jimenez, who's a pretty good hitter. 8 for 32 this year with a couple of RBIs. And he cuts and fouls that one back. Valdo Jimenez, 25-year-old Dominican who looks like he's going to be one of the pitching stars in the National League in years to come. The Rockies have done a very nice job in tailoring their pitching staff to their ballpark. It's always been a given that if you want to be successful at Coors Field, you have to be a sinker ball pitcher. Well, now they lead the world in guys who get ground balls. Line to first, and Murphy's there to grab it to end the inning. But Troy Tulowitzki home run since the 8th of June and his 19th of the year as Tulowitzki parks one well over 400 feet to give the Rockies a 2-0 lead. Mets at Citi Field Saturday, August 22nd for charity. Your donation includes food, beverage, and a ticket for that night's game against the Phillies. Get to MetsFoundation.com or call 718-803-4074. Jeff Francoeur leads off the home second inning for New York. Francoeur really enjoying himself since joining the Mets.
14 RBIs in 12 games. That'll put a smile on your face.
Well, especially when you consider that he had driven in only 14 runs in his last 43 games with the Braves.
Change of atmosphere.
And it's not only helped him, I think it's helped the people around him. Popped up shallow center and Fowler coming on. Because, you know, Francoeur is just one of those infectious guys. He's always smiling. and it seems to have a positive impact on the people in that clubhouse.
Very, very cheery. Even on day games, that's the true test. Day games after night games.
You never smile, but
you know, I played a lot of football, and he has the football mentality. He is ready every single day.
I like his whole demeanor. Whether he turns his career around or not, I think it's a positive to have that kind of a personality on the team.
Well, this is a special game for Corey Sullivan, playing against the team that brought him to the major leagues. Sullivan, the former Rocky, making his 4th start as a Met. 3 for 14 thus far. He played a lot of center field for the Rockies 3 years ago, but then he kind of fell out of favor there.
Well, I think they felt, when I was talking to a lot of their coaching staff, they were very high on Corey. And they is that earlier in his career, he was very, very thin and hadn't really, gotten strong enough to play 150, 155 games. That was really the problem.
And also, there was a time, and it's still the case to a certain extent, where they valued power in Coors Field above everything else. And we gave the stat on Corey, as we look at Homer Santos on deck, that of the 30-some players who had had over 700 at-bats as a Rocky in their careers, Corey was the only one who had a higher slugging percentage away from Coors Field than he did at home. So he wasn't taking advantage of what Coors Field had to offer, at least in the Rockies' minds, as he works out the walk from Jimenez, and the Mets have a 1-out base runner.
I know, just now,
right?
That's the player that he did that.
But I'll tell you what we've seen so far from Corey. He can really play the outfield.
Yeah.
He made some terrific plays in that very difficult left field in Houston.
He's an accomplished player, a great guy to have on your bench, but now having to start.
How about Homer Santos? 2 home runs in a row, and the last 2 games he started, he did not play yesterday.
How do you do that? How do you not get to start on Sunday after you homer on Friday and Saturday? Worked out for the Mets. Brian Schneider started, had a good day, both at the plate and behind it. And is.
Well, I think that Brian Schneider, with his history of all the starts he and Levon have gone through together, I think that's a good combination for them all the time.
Yeah, Santos takes the breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
I don't know if Santos could have coached a 7-inning effort out of Hernandez. A guy like Schneider, he has seen Levon do that probably 50 or 60 times. So he knew at some point he can get him back. But it really was the Houston Astros who did Levon a favor in that first inning, kind of running themselves out of a 4 or 5 run inning.
Yes, they did. They had him on the ropes.
Back past the mound, Tulowitzki makes the flip.
Oh boy.
Barmes with the bare hand catch, with Sullivan bearing down on him for the 2nd out.
I think he surprised Barmes here. Boy, you just don't want a bare hand. You got a glove. Nice play by Tulowitzki. I'll get it right. What was that in West Side Story? Officer Krupke.
What does it have to do with Tulowitzki?
Well, it sounds the same.
Now Alex Cora with 2 out and a runner at first. And picked out of the dirt by Iannetta.
Nicely done.
And for Cora's sake and for the Mets' sake, you better hope so, because otherwise they're going to have to bring in some reinforcements. Popped up, and the third baseman Stewart in line to play it. And the Mets are done in the bottom of the second. Oliver Perez back to the mound for the third. Top of the batting order, 2-0 Colorado.
Helicopter tonight? Boy, we are really putting a lot into the production lately.
Got all the stuff.
First class. Very nice.
We showed you the cow in Houston, and now we got the Statue of Liberty. Oliver Perez facing the top of the Colorado batting order as we go to the third. Dexter Fowler took a call third strike his first time up. And Fowler pops the first one foul out of play.
Well, we're seeing a lot from what we're seeing from Fowler in 2 at-bats is that thou shall not pass. He swings that bat. What commandment was that, Gary? You remember?
Thou shalt not pass?
Yes.
I believe that's about 14. And the backdoor breaking ball misses, 1-1.
That tablet might have broke, Keith. I don't think that made it.
Oh, it's only so many tablets you can carry down that mountain. Fowler gets tied up on the breaking ball, but held the swing 2-1.
Did we just show Mr. Met on the TV screen?
Yes, he was outside Citi Field welcoming everybody in. Then Varmus on deck, and then Garrett Atkins for the Rockies in the third.
There he is.
Out on the bridge.
Spreading good cheer.
Driven deep left field. Back goes Sullivan looking up, and it's off the fence. Fowler digging for second, and he'll make it standing with a leadoff double. 20th double of the year for the rookie Fowler.
Well, I think what you're going to see here is a high fastball with too much plate. Look at Snyder set up in, and it doesn't get there. And that's just full extension of the arms. He's lucky he didn't lift it.
Showed a quick bat, though, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I think Fowler right now is the kind of guy in his career, Gary, that if he gets a 2-1 count of fastball, he's going to hit a line drive.
By the way, that's 20 rows back at Coors Field.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's Clint Varmus, who flied to left his first time up. Now 0 for his last 20. Mets looking for the bunt and trying to pick off as Fowler, who stole 23 bases this year, gets back.
And you can see the Met defense on the infield. Not sure how Jim Tracy's going to play this. He could be playing for early runs here, putting the sacrifice bunt on.
Well, as cold as Varmus has been, that makes sense to bunt. Little in Pittsburgh, but then again, nobody has for a couple of decades.
Welcome to the club.
And Ollie takes the turn.
Well, 23 bags by Dexter Fowler this year, but he has been caught 8 times as he's learning how to steal bases in the major leagues.
In fact, the Rockies have been caught stealing more than any team in the league. And Varmus takes a strike, and now he's down on the count 0-2.
Well, there's the inside fastball that Ollie needs to get right there. And that, well, there's no more black on the home plate, right, Ron? It's just all white now.
It's a virtual black.
There we go.
A theoretical black.
I don't know why. That's a shot from the blimp, folks. That's how tight our cameras are getting.
Well, you know, when you're a kid, of course, you always see the black because the plate is raised above the ground. It's not buried like it is in the major leagues.
Fowler trying to distract Ollie with that dance move. And it's 1-2 to Varmus.
Varmus, of course, came out of the chute in his rookie season. He's having an amazing season at shortstop and cut short by an injury, an unusual injury.
Yeah, that was back in 2006, or 2005, when he fell down a flight of stairs carrying a bag of deer meat. Popped up and found ground for Murphy, and that's the first out of the inning. I mean, it sounds terrible to relate it in that fashion, but that was the story, that Todd Helton had shot a deer and had it dressed, and he was trying to help out the rookie by giving him some free meals, and it was a little too heavy for Clint to carry. He tripped down the stairs. He cost himself a Rookie of the Year season.
Only in Colorado or Alaska is that somewhat believable.
That's what happens when you put a deer in a dress.
What? Oh, I know.
Here's Garrett Atkins, who popped up to second base his first time up. Oh, I see. Dress the deer.
Yes.
Oh, I got it. Thanks.
Very corny. I'm tired.
No, you're not. Shake it off.
I didn't sleep good last night.
Like, you slept better in the hotels than in your own bed?
No, I stayed in the city last night. We got in too late.
Should have gone home.
No thanks.
Atkins fouls it off 1-1. Ronnie, you've been off for a couple of weeks, at least off from us.
Yeah, I have been. I had a really fun time, though, this weekend. I was in Cooperstown. And at one point, I'm sitting in Cooperstown. To my left, it's Monty Irvin, Ralph Kiner, Al Kaline. To my right is Orlando Cepeda, Bob Feller. I mean, it was just unbelievable to hang and hear the stories from these older Hall of Famers. They just, and I will tell you, and I don't know if it has to do, I've been there 3 or 4 times, and I don't know if it has to do with the culture of baseball the last few seasons. The people cannot get enough of these old timers. They want to touch them, hold them, get an autograph, speak with them. They just have the biggest smiles on their faces to have a chance to meet a Bob Feller or a chance to meet Orlando Cepeda. Juan Marichal was there. It was just amazing. They even got back to the Hall of Fame Carl Yastrzemski, who's kind of a recluse and doesn't go to the Hall of Fame events, but went because of Jim Ed Rice getting inducted.
How about Ricky's speech? He did a great job, didn't he? Swing and a miss, 2-2 to Atkins.
He didn't refer to himself as Ricky the entire time. Outstanding job.
Himself a speech coach and then really worked at it, and give Ricky a lot of credit for that.
Good for him.
Oh, both Jim Rice and Ricky Henderson, both deserving of the Hall of Fame. Jim, I felt, should have been in a lot earlier.
Two and two to Atkins. Fowler runs, and the pitch down, and no chance for Santos to even think about making a throw, and Fowler has his 24th stolen base of the year.
Well, the Mets get a little their own medicine here. The opposing team stealing third base, and wisely done by Santos not to throw. Great jump by the youngster.
So the Mets have to bring the infield in, down 2-0 already. A 3-2 count to Atkins, a spot where Ollie could certainly use a strikeout. 3-2 to Atkins, and he fouls it back.
Oh, look at that young slugger. There's a future. He's got 15 home runs a year in him.
He just raised his eyebrows. I think he means
he likes it.
I think 30 is what he had in mind. Again, the 3-2. And it's in there for a call strike 3. Atkins didn't think so. Punched out by Charlie Relaford. That's a big second out for Perez.
Well, he might have got the call here. Let's watch the glove of Santos. He brought it back in. I thought it was inside too, and we'll find out right here. He missed.
The Mets get a break. It's a break that Oliver needs. Good.
Yep.
So 2 out. Now the infield can back up for Brad Hopp, who singled to right and scored a run in the second. Well, Hopp has been threatening to have this kind of year for the last couple of seasons. As he drives one toward left center field. Sullivan getting over, though, to grab it and end the inning. So Oliver Perez, like that, is able to work around the leadoff double by Fowler and keep it a 2-0 game as we head for the bottom of the third at Citi Field.
That's a big.
Wow, look at that.
Wow. Very nice.
We are getting all sorts of beautiful sunset shots tonight.
It was always fun when the season was over in October, the first week, and you didn't have to go to the ballpark at 5 o'clock for BP.
Jimenez makes the play on Perez, one away.
You know, you used to your routine, Ronnie. You got your first time you can go over to the west side, find a little tavern, an outdoor cafe, have a beer, and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
It's great. Always look forward to it.
You West Coasters, you always get to watch the sunset.
That's right.
That's a very good point here. That's the one thing I do miss about the West Coast, is watching the sunset. I never get up early enough.
Sunrises are nice, but who gets up that early?
I do not have any interest to watch the sunrise, to tell you the truth.
Angel Pagan tries to drop a bunt down and fouls it off. Angel fly to left his first time up. Had an incredible streak during the road trip that was stopped yesterday. He had a leadoff hit in 6 out of 7 games, which is just a marvelous thing from your leadoff hitter. Get that first inning started right, especially on the road. Stewart playing way in at third now after that bunt attempt, and that one sails all the way over Ionetta to the backstop.
You know, Jerry addressed Pagan today, and as you see the defense really playing the pull on that right side. Oh, no, maybe not. Pretty straight up.
Protecting the bunt there.
Spot for Pagan to try and shoot it by Stewart. But he takes up and in, 2-1.
Jerry was talking about Pagan today and said, you know, here's a guy that's been kind of a fourth outfielder, a bench player, and finally he has a chance to be penciled in every single day in center field, batting leadoff. And I think more importantly, in some strange way, you know, when you are playing second fiddle in center field to Beltran, who's so good, sometimes when he's not here and you're out in that outfield, you don't have to measure up. You can just play your own game. And he's been outstanding.
And that's in there for a call strike 3. A delayed call by Charlie Relaford. And Pagan lingers to talk about it. Not happy, just as Atkins wasn't happy in the last inning.
Well, we got a pitcher's umpire, Ronnie. That ball's low, and it's the second call, third strike here. One for the Rockies, and now Pagan. So he's even Steven right now. When an umpire gives you that little extra inch there, Ron, you love it. You got to love it.
Well, one, you love it, and two, you try to exploit it and stay out there.
Castillo doubled his first time up.
Well, this little fastball up in the strike zone, 3-2 count. And like you said, Gary, and you saw Keith on the road trip, showing some driving the ball was Castillo from the left side. That's something he has always done from the right side, but not the left side.
And being more aggressive at the plate.
There
We
you
always
go.
talked about him taking a lot of pitches, and he's been much more aggressive. Some guys just aren't comfortable swinging, and Louis is one of those guys. I know that Hojo has been trying to get him to swing more 2-0, 1-0, and there's the swing right there. Louis always steps in the bucket. He's kind of half running to first base. That's his style.
And he takes a fastball for a strike, 2-2.
What I've noticed from Castillo is that when he's hot, he's aggressive, and then when he feels himself cooling down, then he'll start taking a lot of pitches and getting a few walks, or trying to anyway.
Remember that this is a guy who once had a 35-game hitting streak. So this is not new territory for Louis. When he gets hot, he gets his hits every day.
And I think he went through a stretch where he hit in almost 40 games at Shea in Flushing. So across the street.
Oh, well, the toughest man in the National League to strike out has just struck out. Third strikeout for Jimenez as he gets the Mets 1-2-3. Tulowitzki, who homered his first time up, leads off in the fourth, 2-0 Rockies.
Commercial.
He must have closed up the store early. NY Sports unmanned with the guys at the ballpark.
See that big cutout, a picture of you behind you there? That is in Andrew Figverisi, who works at SNY. He's got that in his office. He says he's got to get rid of it, though. It gives him the creeps. Because it's like you're looking over his shoulder all the time.
By the way, you may not know this, but Sharvarish and Mandeep are on Facebook.
They are.
They are. If you go to NY Sports on Facebook, they've got their own fan page.
Do you do Facebook?
I'm not on
Neither do
Facebook.
I.
No, but a lot of people who watch us,
Yeah.
they do.
There they are. They're taking some pictures.
That's Chavarish with the camera. Good to have the guys at the ballpark. Wonder if they've been to a ball game before.
They're very nice guys. We had a good time doing that commercial. And believe it or not, that was a big campaign. I'm just one part of the campaign.
A big part.
And you know, it's a 30-second spot, and it literally took all day. Amazing.
Why?
Always.
Oh, it always takes all day.
You didn't mess up your lines, did you?
Of course not. I had no lines. It was very easy. Just make faces.
Yes, you had some good looks.
Oh, intimidation. Don't mess with me.
Do you find people are intimidated by you in general?
I hope not.
They are.
I'm really a nice guy.
Tulowitzki takes outside ball 4, so after hitting the home run his first time up, Tulowitzki gets the leadoff walk from Ollie, and for the third straight inning, the Rockies have their first man on. That, however, is the first walk of the night for Oliver Perez, and you'd have to say that in and of itself is a step forward that it comes in the 4th inning.
Took all day, to do that commercial. It's amazing.
Well, you know, they want to shoot behind you, to
Yeah.
the side, to the front, and they got to change the lighting.
Do you like the way it came out?
I was pleased. It's cute. They're happy at SNY. That's all that matters.
Spilborghs hits one toward the right field line. Frank Core getting over and makes the grab. Caught it in fair territory before hitting the wall and dropped it on the exchange. So the out is recorded. 1 away.
Well, nice job in negotiating this line. That's always the toughest. Not a lot of room.
Well, the ex-football player, unafraid of. Well, it's padded there, but still, you got to negotiate that wall. Nice play.
Just gave it a little forearm shiver and moved along.
That's what he wanted to do to Pudge Rodriguez the other night.
Yes.
Said I had him all lined up, but he moved. I couldn't get him.
Well, they played very shallow outfield in Houston, the Astros, and it worked for them the first game, and they got burned in the final 2 games where the balls got over their head. Mets hit how many triples, Gary, in that one?
3 triples
Yes.
yesterday. First time in 15 years the Mets had 3 triples in a game, and the first time in Mets history that they had 3 triples, all with men on base. Wow. There's your Elias trivia note of the day.
Very nice.
Ian Stewart takes a slider that missed somewhere, and it's 1-1. Stewart bounced out to second base his first time up. Catcher Chris Iannetta hitting 8th, waiting on deck. Did they change the flight patterns today?
I don't know.
We haven't had a lot of planes taken off overhead all year long.
We have not. That's why I mentioned it.
It's been very peculiar spring and summer so far. It's been peculiar weather. Maybe that's why.
Hello.
See you later.
Goodbye. Now Perez with a 1-1. Swing and a miss at the slider, and it's 1-2 to Stewart. Stewart, one of 2 left-hand hitters in the lineup tonight for the Rockies.
I like the fact, Ronnie, that he takes something off the slider. That was 78, but only to the left-hand hitter.
Yes, not to the righties. It's all right if it's a first pitch slider because you're trying to get it over for a strike, but not throwing it when you're ahead in the count.
And going right back to the slider here.
That was a hangage. Helicopter. Got away with it.
Boy, what a extreme uppercut from Stewart. You can see where he gets his home run power. 17 big flies this year.
Hitting just 206 though against left-handers. One on and one out, and Perez checks in on Tulowitzki, who has 13 stolen bases this year. Tulowitzki's got power, he's got speed, he's got one of the best infield arms in baseball.
And maybe you can't tell on TV, he's a very big man, 6'2", 220.
Doesn't have the greatest of range for shortstops, but he's very sure-handed.
And the sidearm delivery misses inside.
Well, you know, Keith, with his arm, he can play a little deeper than most shortstops and kind of go into the outfield and use that.
Most important to me, middle infielders, that they're sure-handed.
Yes.
Anything they get to, they make the play.
Larry Boa, Cal Ripken.
You know, Rafael
didn't have fantastic range.
Rafael Santana. Yeah. Everything he got to, Ralphie did not boot it.
2-2, popped up and foul ground. David Wright open for room, runs out of
it. Did you lose that pop-up, Gary? I lost it in the overhang.
I'm not saying. Maybe we can get it on the blip shot. The seventh pitch of the at-bat to Stewart. And it's in there for a call, strike 3. Got him looking at the fastball. And Oliver has his third strikeout, all looking.
Well, except for the mistake to Tulowitzki, you have to like the way that Oliver Perez has been pitching, using enough sliders against the left-handers and then putting them away with that fastball right on the block.
There's your AT&T pitcher's high speed. Ubaldo Jimenez, one of the harder throwing starters in the league, at 99, and Ollie at 92.
That is rushing it up there, as we say in baseball parlance.
I don't know who keeps these stats, but I read somewhere that Ubaldo Jimenez has thrown more pitches 95 and over than any starter in baseball this year. Johan Santana will try and rebound from a bad outing on Friday in his next start on Wednesday against the Rockies.
Jimenez averaging 108, 109 pitches per start, so he's going deep into games. But nice to see Perez throwing 92, Keith, isn't it?
Yes.
Because there was a time where it was 88, 89, and we're really worried about if he had lost a little bit. And you see the strikes to ball ratio.
Well, he's not going to get by throwing 87, 88, 89.
You can do that if you can paint the corners.
Of course, if you can throw 99, you get a little more margin for error.
You can make a mistake and get away with it. Yep. Particularly your fastball.
Iannetta got hit on the leg by a pitch his first time up. Santos trying to get Ollie through the inning.
I like this right here because this is a very important at bat. It's 2-0, and there's no way that you want to just lay one in there to Iannetta. You got to hit a corner, maybe even throw a 2-0 breaking ball. I know you'd want to clear the eighth place hitter and have the pitcher leading off, but this is too big of an at bat to throw one down the middle.
Low and inside. Now it's 3-0 to Iannetta with the pitcher on deck.
You hate to roll the lineup over and get the pitcher up, but in the case, I hear what you're saying, Ron. It's when you fall behind. And 2-0 game.
Iannetta's got 11 home runs, and if I were managing, I'd give him the hit sign.
Santos moving away, and it's outside ball 4, so 2 walks in the inning. And now Ollie will face the pitcher Jimenez with 2 out and 2 on.
And again, this young guy not only throwing 99 miles an hour, but he can hit a little bit. His first at bat lined out to Murphy at first base.
And you can see with 2 outs, a bit surprised they're playing straight up. Usually they always shade a pitcher to the opposite field.
Well, the Rockies thought enough of Jimenez that they tied him up with a 4-year contract this spring. Take him through arbitration. And that was not a hitter's cut.
That's kind of the same cut I used to have when I put a wrinkle on it. You throw that little breaking ball up there, you really negate any of the strength of Jimenez. They hope that long-term contract works out a little better than it did with Manny Corpas.
Well, the Rockies have revamped their bullpen. And they've made some very positive moves lately. They brought in Rafael Betancourt from the Indians, who a couple of years ago was as good as any setup guy in the game. And Franklin Morales, who had been a starter for them, is now a setup man for them, the lefty. And with Houston Street, who's been almost perfect as their closer, that's a good bullpen now. Here's the 1-2. Chopped off the plate. Ali goes back, can't grab it. Cora comes in, and safe at first is Jimenez. And the bases are loaded.
Well, nice effort by Ali here. It's a Baltimore chop. Just can't get to it. Nice effort. And you're not going to throw out Jimenez, who's just hustling down the line. He smelled this one.
Well, I just think that even though it's a lucky hit, I think that Oliver would love to have that pitch back. He really made Jimenez look awful on those sliders and then tried to sneak a fastball by him. It didn't work.
So a big spot in this ball game. The Mets already down 2-0, facing a good pitcher in Jimenez. And now the Rockies have the bases loaded 2 out, and Dexter Fowler, the leadoff hitter, coming up.
Well, we'll see how they pitch, and I think Dan Worthman went out there to kind of get a strategy to go against the youngster. Got the double off the wall. The last at bat pulled a fastball, and first at bat he was swinging at fastball. So I get a strange feeling that they're going to throw him a breaking ball first pitch.
Good call, Keith. If I was pitching right now, the one thing I would lock in my brain for the first 2 bats against Fowler, he wants to swing early and often.
The Rockies have been a great team with the bases loaded this year. As a ball club, the Rockies are hitting .358 when the bases are loaded this season. Contrast that with the Mets, who are hitting .215 with the bases loaded.
We always like getting ahead 1-0 with the bases loaded and the pitcher in trouble.
And a good pitch on the inside corner, 1-1 to Fowler.
Good pitch by Oliver right there.
Tulowitzki is at third, Iannetta at second, and Jimenez, the pitcher, is on first. Got the stirrups.
Yes, he does.
Nice look. And Fowler fouls it off. So now Perez 1 pitch away from getting himself out of this jam. Clint Barmas would be next.
Nice off-speed pitch right there with the splitter there, and threw it in a good spot.
Against an aggressive hitter, do not have to throw a strike here. This has to be a ball. Fastball up in the strike zone or slider down and in.
1-2. He struck him out. Santos merely has to step on home plate, and that ends the inning. Oliver Perez with the big strikeout to get himself out of the jam. His 4th strikeout of the night. Rockies strand 3. David Wright to lead off when we come back.
This weekend, Mike, they were talking about, one of the articles was about that a curveball puts less strain on your arm than a fastball. And I found that very interesting, considering I pitched and this guy probably didn't. But it depends on the age. And I've always thought that really the big, hard, sharp curveball is the one that really puts a lot of strain. Because not only does it put strain on your shoulder when you deliver it, but also when you let go of the ball, it's almost a snap of your elbow as you try to get as much spin as you can. And that really is the most strain, I think, is when you try to throw a real hard breaking ball.
I thought there was a very controversial article that appeared in the Times over the weekend. I mean, for years we've been talking about pitchers, youngsters not throwing curveballs till they're 14 or so, till their growth plates have finished developing. And now all of a sudden, here's this study, and I don't know exactly who did it, that says the opposite. And it's a little scary to think that people are going to run with that and all of a sudden have 9-year-olds throwing curveballs. David Wright takes the run the other way, and the Mets get the leadoff man on in the 4th inning.
Well, by the way, 9-year-olds do throw curveballs. They just don't always throw it in front of their dad or mom. That's the key, is that they're always going to throw it. Restricting it, though, in a game. Why do kids want to throw a breaking ball? I'll tell you why. Because it's a swing and miss pitch. You're a hero when you throw that pitch. You get strikeouts. You get the
makes the guy look bad.
Cutest girl to the dance. You get all the good things. But it doesn't help your progression. And Keith will tell you a well-placed fastball, in and out, up and down, is the best pitch in baseball.
My advice to young kids are stay away from the curve.
Teach your kid a changeup.
Yeah, there you go.
Daniel Murphy grounded out to second. A great play by Barmes his first time up.
I think the most ball down in the zone. Nice off-speed pitch. Beautiful play by Barmes. That saved a run right there. That was back in the 1st inning.
Fastball in tight. 1-1.
I think Gary mentioned before is that's the key for this staff with Aaron Cook and Jason Marquis. They're a staff that throws ground balls, and you have to be ready in the infield to make the play, as opposed to in the past they've had a lot of guys that have tried to strike out people. They want to put the ball in play and use their defense.
Double play ball right to Tulowitzki. Barmes with the turn. 6-4-3 on the double play. 2 out and nobody on.
Tailor-made right here. After that fastball in, comes away with that ball. He's got such great movement on that fastball, Ronnie. And that's not a view to really see the movement, but even from that angle, from the left field camera, you can tell there's great movement on that fastball. Tailor-made.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Jeff Francoeur, who had a fly ball his first time up, flied out to center, but the numbers on Jimenez, only 25.4% of his outs have been on fly balls. Balls hit in the air. And the point Ronnie was making is Francoeur drives one down the right field line but foul. The Rockies have 4 starters who rank in the bottom 10 in the majors in the percentage of outs gotten on fly balls. We've got Jimenez and Aaron Cook, who has the lowest percentage of all. Then Jason Marquis and Jorge De La Rosa. And if you're playing in the thin air of Coors Field, that is a great kind of staff to put together.
Well, you know, in the ERA, they're ranked 7th, which is not bad. In walks, they're ranked 2nd in the National League with less. Oh boy!
Francoeur drives one deep left field. Back goes Spilborghs, back at the wall, and it's out of here. Jeff Francoeur with his 8th home run of the year, his 3rd as a Met. And he gets the Mets on the board, cutting the Rockies lead to 2-1. A rejuvenated Jeff Francoeur.
I think he got a hanger here. Yes, he did. And he made him pay.
So now Corey Sullivan, and he grounds one to Barmes, who comes in to grab it awkwardly, throws him out to end the inning. But Jeff Francoeur's 3rd home run and 15th RBI in just 13 games as a Met. has put a dent in Ubaldo Jimenez. 2-1 Colorado as we go to the 5th at Citi Field.
And peppers there.
Very nice. The food here is outstanding. There's no question about that.
I would love to learn how to run one of those grills.
Yeah?
You know, when I was a kid, my grandfather used to take me to a diner out on Long Island. And he had the short order cook there who ran the grill and made all the sandwiches and kept it all organized. I was always fascinated to watch it. Good off-speed pitch by Ollie.
So you got your home fries and potatoes in one place, your sausage in another place.
And you make the omelet in the middle, and you're doing the BLT over here.
Don't ever do the pancakes where you do the eggs. You got to keep that separated.
Is that right?
Yes.
See, this is the kind of thing I need to learn. 1-2 to Barmes, leading off in the 5th. It's blue smoke out there. That's a whole different animal. Can't do that on the grill. Barmes has flied to left and fouled out to first, 0 for 2. Rockies got their 2 runs on a home run by Tulowitzki in the 2nd. They got a runner to third with 1 out in the 3rd and didn't score. They loaded the bases with 2 out in the 4th, and Perez got a big out. So Ollie keeping himself in this game, trailing 2-1. Throws the slider at the feet of Barmes, 2-2.
Third time through the order, and Ollie's starting out this inning with a lot of split fingers, Ronnie. He's getting a little more confident with it.
I just like when he gets ahead that he's able to throw the ball out of the strike zone. Now 2-2, doesn't want to go 3-2. He's got to have Barmes put the ball in play or make his pitch.
Popped up. That'll come fouling out of play.
He's missing with that fastball, though. He's missing kind of up in the strike zone, and he might get away with it with Barmes, but we know from his first time up for Tulowitzki, he didn't get away with it, so he's going to be careful.
Two, way outside. He tried the split, missed with it. 3-2. After Barmes are Garrett Atkins and Brad Hopp here in the 5th. 8th pitch of the at-bat to Barmes. And he drives one to deep left field, right down the line. Gone if it stays fair. And that ball is out of here. A long home run off the bat of Clint Barmes. His 13th home run of the year. And now the Rockies have a 3-1 lead.
That may have been the longest home run down the line this year. Did that make it over the Amtrak.com sign?
No, I don't think so. Did it? but it was back there. When you look at the Rockies lineup tonight, they had 89 home runs in their lineup. The Mets had 24. Well, now they've got 91, and the Mets have 25.
Fastball that didn't get in, Ron.
Up in the strike zone, challenging
Belt high.
Barnes.
There's your location, Keith.
Just a little bit shy.
That is a long home run. 1-1 to Atkins.
Wants to come inside. That's the difference it makes, Ronnie, right there.
Well, I just personally feel, now this is it's a critique. If you're going to make a pitch on the counts 3-2 in this ballpark, you need to throw the ball outside. I mean, taking a chance inside and letting him pull it, the better chance is outside. Let Barnes take you out to center field. If he does, you tip your cap. But much more difficult.
Very good point, Ronnie. And Ollie loves to pound right-handers in.
It's all right, but when you get to 3-2 in this ballpark, you just want him to shoot it towards center field. Have Angel Pagan flag it down.
There's our little Rocky fan.
Well, we've already seen a Rocky right-hand hitter hit the ball out to center field tonight. Breaking ball at the feet of Atkins, 3-2.
I think even more importantly, you always hate to see that nice run, that home run by Frank Gore go on the board and then washed away right away.
Three and 2 to Atkins. And it's low ball 4. So that's 3 walks given up by Perez. And Atkins aboard with nobody out. Well, that's the updated number of home runs on the lineup. And the Rockies are second in the National League in home runs and second in the league in runs scored. But that's a vast differential.
Well, that's what happens when you have Gary Sheffield on the disabled list. It takes away, interestingly, 10.
I mean, that's the amazing thing, that even taking into account the injuries, the fact that no Met has more than 10 home runs this year, shocking.
I was thinking about it yesterday when I was watching you guys broadcast. David Wright comes up, hits one halfway up the Tal Hill in center field, which would have been over the apple here, or at least in the apple, and it's a double.
Slider on the outside corner, 0-2.
This is nice hitting as he hooks this slider into right field. It's Brad hopping in the third inning, Keith.
This is the night he hit this ball well. Fastball away, went right with it. Just a little bit of an uppercut, and that was the difference. Too much hang time.
And it's in there for a call strike 3, so hop down looking. And Perez has strikeout number 5.
Slider and a beauty.
Well, that's a perfect slider there. It starts right in the middle of the plate, breaks right over that front of that outside corner.
But if you notice one thing, and of course we get to see Oliver pitch all the time, Oliver does not very often come inside the left-handers.
Now Tulowitzki, whose home run provided the Rockies' first 2 runs.
I did not think this ball was getting out. That's the deep part of the ballpark.
Well,
that's impressive.
We've seen 2 home runs tonight from left center over to center field. Now, this is the first kind of humid, warm night that we've had at Citi Field, and it makes you wonder whether we're going to see a few more home runs if we have this kind of weather. Way up high, 1-1.
Again, trying to come in on Tulowitzki, and that ball is just out over the middle of the plate. It always reminds me of that story when Reggie Jackson used to hit all of his home runs. Occasionally he'd come back to the bench and they'd say, "Reggie, where was that pitch?" He said, "Fence high." All I had to do was put a swing on it.
1-2 to Tulowitzki.
Did you hear the story that Ricky told? You see Elmar descends up in the bullpen. Ricky Henderson told about Reggie Jackson. When he was a kid, he'd always go to the ballpark and try to get Reggie Jackson's autograph, and Reggie would just give him the pen back.
1-2 from Perez, and Tulowitzki pulls one foul. Troy Tulowitzki, the 7th overall pick in the 2005 draft. Here's your 5th inning recap. Tulowitzki and Barmes with home runs for the Rockies. Frank Kerr with a home run for the Mets. And that's been all the scoring tonight. Oliver Perez making his 4th start back from the disabled list, his 9th start overall this year. And trailing in the game 3-1. Tulowitzki is getting some good rips.
Man, he looks very comfortable in that batter's box. 93 pitches now in the 5th inning for Oliver Perez, who had only 7 in that 1st inning, so has struggled in the last few innings. Tulowitzki, again, another Rocky, Gary, that they have given a long-term contract to, club option through 2014.
Well, the first organization that began doing that kind of thing was the Cleveland Indians, when they moved into Jacobs Field back in the mid-90s to identify the young players who you wanted to be part of your organization long term, and to basically buy out their years of arbitration and sometimes even their first couple of years of free agency to get them at a reasonable price and provide them with some security. They did that with Kenny Lofton and people like that. Just inside 3-2 to Tulowitzki, and the Mets did it with Reyes and Wright, and it's become the norm for organizations.
Key is to identify those players that are going to be good for 5, 6, 7 years in a row, as opposed to the flashes in the pan.
Jim Cott always said you got to know who you give the long-term contracts to.
3rd full count of the inning for Oliver Perez. His 95th pitch of the night, and Tulowitzki takes ball 4, and so the Rockies have 2 men on.
Let me just say one thing about that at bat for Tulowitzki, and you know he's red hot. It's fun to watch a hitter red hot. He was not fooled by one pitch. Hard breaking balls in the dirt, split fingers in the dirt. He took them beautifully, had great cuts in the fastball. There really wasn't nothing that Perez could get him out with. He had to make a perfect pitch. That was a quality at bat.
Well, Ollie didn't walk anybody the first 3 innings tonight, but now he's walked 4 in the last inning and a third. And so it goes.
Well, he's going to need a ground ball here. I mean, that is the key for him, and he is a guy who doesn't get a lot of ground balls.
Pat Mish joins Elmer Descends in the Mets bullpen. You got Spilborghs at the plate, a right-hand hitter, and then left-hand hitting Ian Stewart on deck. Mets are right in this game. It's 3-1, but Ollie teetering here in the 5th inning. Spilborghs hit a fly ball that Frank Kerr made a nice play on right before he hit the sidewall in right field back in the 4th. 2 on and 1 out, and Spilborghs takes outside.
Well, Ollie's getting a little mad at himself here.
Well, it's a real testament, isn't it, Keith and Gary, that he is so strong against left-handed hitters, but even with his struggles right here, Jerry does not have enough confidence and has Mish up to face Stewart if he gets in any more trouble.
Check swing, and he takes a strike.
Well, this game is so important for the Mets in the spot that they're in. You got the wild card leading Rockies here. It's important in a 4-game set to take that first game. You cannot let this game get out of hand.
Ollie could use a ground ball. He's only gotten 1 of those tonight. And the slider, Spilborghs lays off 2-1. There are your wild card standings in the National League. There are 7 teams in front of the Mets who are 7.5 games behind, but they're playing the Rockies here, which gives them a chance to shorten the margin between themselves and the wild card leader in this series. Here's the 2-1, and that one fooled Santos, but it's in for a strike. 2-2.
Nice job of Santos here, getting crossed up, thought a fastball was coming, still able to frame that slider.
Boy, does that ever happen, that a guy gets crossed up like that and it's still a strike?
I mean, usually they don't put a glove on it.
I think the fact that Ollie just kind of threw it with no velocity, that he was able to make the reaction.
If that had been that good one down and in, that ball would have been to the backstop.
If you do it the other way around, looking for the slider and get the fastball, then you got no chance.
Like looking for the local and getting the express.
2-2 to Spilborghs. Bounce slowly. Wright will take the play to third. Now flips to first, but not nearly in time. So he gets the lead runner for the second out. Ball not hit hard enough to really have a chance for 2.
Well, David gets the lead runner, and I like this because now you take 2 runners from, well, excuse me, I'm sorry. He would have got the runner at second base. There still would have been 1 runner in scoring position. But that was his play to get 2 right there. And wisely by Murph to come off the bag. As a first baseman, you can see if you're going to have a close play or a non-play. And when it's a non-play, go get the ball.
So now a chance for Oliver Perez to finish his evening on a high note. He's up to 100 pitches on the night. He'll have it turn it back to in the bottom of the 5th. 2 out and 2 on in a 3-1 game. Stewart is 0 for 2. Grounded out and struck him. And he takes the breaking ball for ball 1.
Stewart, to me, although he struck out in his last at-bat, seems to look very comfortable against the left-handed Perez, despite his low batting average against lefties.
2:06 start in the night. Here's the 1-0. Pulled down to first, and Murphy down to a knee to play it. And so Perez works through the rest of the trouble in the 5th after the leadoff home run by Barmes. And in all probability, Ollie has finished his night's work with 5 innings. Barmes with the second home run of the night for the Rockies, who go up 3-1 halfway through.
Cleon Jones discuss batting averages. Rose beat Cleon for the National League crown, but Jones was a star of the All-Stars.
Oh, some great pictures there. Ted Williams standing between Seaver and Kuzman. That is outstanding.
I love that 60s music, too.
That sounds like Beach Blanket Bingo right there.
That was the 69-minute highlight film, which I believe was brought to you by Borden's.
Oh, okay.
Now, you guys probably don't know this, as Omir Santos takes outside, but it used to be Borden's was milk.
Milk.
And if you collected Borden's milk carton tops, if you brought in 6 of them, you could get a free ticket.
Wow.
1 and 2 to Santos. So Borden's was big in our house. Santos grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin? Out to right field and just foul.
Nice conversations usually work when the mic's on, guys. So we'll try it again.
Well, glad to have you join us.
Oh, thanks. You know, I had speaking of nice conversations, I had one with Omir the other day, and it just kind of relived his childhood and baseball for him in Puerto Rico in a small town called Palo Seco. It has about 100 to 150 people in it, still does, and he talked about as he rifles one here, but Barmes will make the play and he's retired. But he talked about growing up and playing baseball, and his dad got him into it. His dad, Jesus, got him into it when he was about 4 years old. Now, Omir had 2 brothers, 1 older brother. and they would go to the only ball field in town, and it was so poorly manicured, the grass was so tall. He said we'd have about 3 or 4 baseballs, and every time we'd come home with maybe one left because the grass was that tall, we would lose them in the grass. He never really liked the game, but he said watching my brother play, it wasn't so much that I was into the game, but I was into the respect that he got from playing, the way the community reacted to him, and I kind of wanted that same feeling. And training, as far as his brother goes, his brother Jose, how about this? He's 6 years older, so there's a big difference. His dad would take the car out, Omir would go in the back of the car, and then his brother would run after the car. So I said to Omir, well, did you have to do that when, it came time for you? He said, thank God, no. I don't know how I got out of it, but I did not have to run after the car. But just great memories from Omir growing up in that small town in Puerto Rico. And how about this, guys? He said today, every time he starts, I guess word gets back down there, they all round up around this little restaurant. They take a TV outside and watch the game outside and watch him play.
That's tremendous. Great story, Kevin, as Stewart throws out Cora for the second out.
Kevin, you feeling better? Yeah, you had the sore throat working last night. Kev?
Talking for 5 hours today during those press conferences didn't help, but I'll survive. I'm okay. Thank you, Keithy, for your concern.
You have had a long day. Now, Angel Baroa will bat for Oliver Perez. So, Ollie done after 5 innings and 103 pitches. Mets have only a 4-man bench right now, which makes things a little tough when you need a pinch hitter early in the game.
I tell you what, there's Brian Stokes up in the bullpen for the Metsies, and first 2 outs in this inning, the Colorado Rocky infield, they flashed some leather.
Yeah. Nice first one by Santos off the mound. Otherwise, he probably would have had a hit. So Ollie done for the night, and sometimes it's hard to grade Oliver Perez on these outings. You're looking for signs of encouragement, and there were some tonight, but he still winds up walking 4 batters and giving up 2 home runs in 5 innings.
Despite his first start from the DL, only gave him a couple runs, and then 3 in his next start, 4 in his last start, 3 in this start. But I think even more importantly, because of the pitch count, not able to go deep into games. That has a lot to do with the walks. Got into some trouble with the bases loaded tonight. The encouraging thing for me is that he made some pitches under duress when he had people on base. That's a good thing. The bad thing would be that he was victimized by the home run ball.
Well, fortunately for the Mets, 3 times in the last 4 games they've had their starter go 7. So the bullpen is relatively rested as Baroa works out the walk. And the Mets have a 2-out base runner. In fact, the only pitcher who hasn't gone 7 in the last 4 games was Santana, and he went 6 2/3. Mets have had a couple of pitchers in that bullpen who have been sitting around doing nothing. DeSenz and Bish and Redding as well. They all have been without work for most of the last road trip. So the tying run comes to bat. Angel Pagan tonight has flied to left and taken a call third strike. Baroa on at first with 2 down. And a strike to Pagan. Angel started the night with an 8-game hitting streak, the longest of his career. Getting right toward 100 at bats for the season. And he pops one up into center field. Fowler right there waiting for it. And that retires the side. So the Mets get a 2-out walk, but Jimenez gets through the inning unscathed. 3-1 Colorado.
Ground?
Yes, there is.
Weeknights at 6, catch the biggest mouths on SNY. Chris Carlin and Adam Shine as they raise the volume on the latest from the Mets, Yankees, and all things New York sports on Loudmouths, presented by Geico. Weeknights at 6 only on SNY. Brian Stokes comes on in relief as we start the 6th inning.
Last time he appeared was in Houston on the 24th. He pitched a third of an inning. Brian is unscored upon in 14 of his last 16 outings as he kind of moves up that depth chart, doesn't he? Getting some tougher outs.
I like him when he comes in with men on base. He's not afraid.
Yeah.
You don't mind giving Brian the ball when the Ducks are on the pond and you need an out.
In fact, he has stranded his last 10 runners, and that goes back 6 weeks now. Iannetta drives one to right field, and Frank Kerr has it lined up. One away. So 1 out and nobody on. The pitcher Jimenez coming up. Let's check in with the studio. Chris Carlin is there with the New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. All right, thanks, Chris. The Cardinals trying to fight their way back to first place after falling out yesterday as Jimenez hits the comebacker to Stokes for the second out.
Well, the Welsh has done a nice job. He hit a home run on Saturday. Now with a big hit in this game as the Red Sox trying to find some offense. Their offense has really struggled.
So 2 out, Dexter Fowler coming up. Let's check in with Kevin.
Guys, talking about Omir Santos, just a capper on that, and I asked him how he got to be a catcher when he was a kid. He said, well, it happened when I was 12 in my baseball game. Went to extra innings. The catcher got hurt. Coach looked at me and said, you're catching. I'd never done it before. And I closed my eyes the first few pitches. The coach was screaming at me to open my eyes. I was a little scared, but he's gotten much better since that point.
I'd say so.
Well, to me, the highlight of this season was Omir's face and running around those bases on that home run he hit off Jonathan Papelbon in Fenway Park. That was just a kind of the hair on the back of your neck moment for me, just watching him run around those bases.
And the best part about it, you got to celebrate it twice.
That's
First when
right.
he hit it, and then after they reviewed it.
That's right.
It's funny, but my lasting image from that game is not Santos hitting the home run. It was Papelbon's reaction charging out of the dugout in the bottom of the 9th on that play at second base.
Yes. When me and Keith dropped it on him.
Go grab some pine.
Go sit down.
You threw the pitch.
Three and one now.
For your eyes only here. Wants to check if he's looking at the signs. Fowler, then study of concentration, trying to catch up off of Stokes.
The best part about that is his eyes are wide open.
That's right.
He's come a long way since he was 12. And Fowler takes call strike 3 on the inside corner at the knees. Third time Fowler's been struck out tonight. Stokes gets a 1-2-3. 3-1 Colorado. the bat lathe doing its job.
You have to sign that later, Keith.
I do. You see the smoke coming off?
Yeah.
Just like it used to happen when Keith hit the ball.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Who was it that said that they could see the smoke coming off the bat? Or was it
Ted Williams asked, who did he ask? Mark McGuire.
Yeah.
Whether he
I never saw smoke coming off.
smelled it. Smelled burning wood.
Or smelled it, right.
There's that third strike to Fowler. Look at the look Charlie Relaford gives Fowler after he objects.
Go get your glove and get out in center field.
Charlie Relaford would have made a great character actor, wouldn't he?
You know what he could play? He could play an umpire in a movie. It'd be perfect. Now Dexter Fowler has been called out a couple of times tonight. Castillo 1 for 2, doubled back in the first inning and takes it at the knees. Good splitter by Jimenez, 1-2.
That's not a strike.
He thought it was low and he's got a gripe here. But you know what? Relaford's had a big strike zone, Ronnie.
Boy, that had more to do with Iannetta, the way he caught that baseball, than the pitch.
Yeah, that ball might have crossed the plate as a strike.
It has so much movement. You got to stay with it.
1-2. That one bounces, and it's 2-2. It's the strikeout of Castillo in the third.
Up the ladder.
Only the 20th time Castillo has been struck out this year.
See if he'll go up the ladder here after one in the dirt.
And now it's 3-2. 97-mile-an-hour fastball in the sixth inning from Jimenez.
Well, it's a big inning for the Mets, big inning for Jimenez.
Wright and Murphy to follow after Castillo with the Mets down by 2. 3-2 to Louis. Chopped right near the bag. Barmes with the off-balance throw, not in time. And Castillo has an infield hit. Another 2-hit game for Luis Castillo.
Well, nice try by Barmes, but I tell you what, Louis flying down that line.
Really, the only way that play could have been made is Tulowitzki keeps up with that play and use that great arm. Barmes could not get enough behind that throw. Look at Louis run.
He could fly.
Well, Keith talked about it earlier, the way he's almost run into first base on the swing, much like Ichiro, and that, that's the difference between being safe on that play.
In our day, of course, the guy I used to watch is Ralph Garr used to do that, didn't he? Almost run into first as he hit.
So David right now the tying run at the plate. David had an opposite field single his last time up as Jimenez steps off. David now with 116 hits for the year. That's 4th in the National League. Castillo just keeps on hitting. 7 for 12 in the 3 games in Houston. 2 for 3 tonight. Let's check in with Kevin.
Guys, I'm telling you, every conversation I've had with Castillo the last 2 months has started with, I did not have a good year last year. He is so motivated by that. And today, talking about his recent play, he said, I'm comfortable, I want to play every day, and I can play even better. Guys?
And you know what's amazing? Since the drop at Yankee Stadium, he's played his best baseball. Sometimes failure is the greatest motivator in the world.
Well, failure, and he also addressed it. And once he addressed it, he got rid of it. It's one of those things that he stood up like a man and had to answer all those questions. And listen, no one wants to be embarrassed and have to answer embarrassing questions. But can I tell you, he conducted himself like you would want all of your players to conduct themselves through hard times.
Up and in, it's 2-0. That's a great lesson for everybody.
So true. Here comes Dak. Bob Apodaca, of course, the pitching coach for the Colorado Rockies. This young man still early in his development. Bob Apodaca, just like you recognize, Keith, this is a huge inning for the Mets. Wants to try to stem the tide here with his young right-hander.
And for all the good things that Jimenez has done this year, and he has been terrific. He's in the top 10 in the league in strikeouts. His ERA is respectable at 3.85. He's got all the pitches. His one-loss record is not what he wants it to be because there have been situations just like this that have gotten away from him.
His last start, of course, cost him a no decision. He gave up really made one bad pitch to a 3-run home run to Miguel Montero. That cost him a no decision in that game. So it's that one pitch, one inning that really has cost This young, talented right-hander.
And at 2-0, tying run at the plate, Keith, is David thinking about hitting one out?
He can look middle in, or he can really just look away and keep the rally going.
And he hits one through the hole, a base hit. And so now the Mets have the tying runs on base. So David Wright has his second hit of the night.
So we'll do a pitch sequence here. Fastball misses up and in. Fastball misses up, way up. And there's a fastball that David got the barrel through. Looked like he might have been looking in, Ronnie.
Well, how are you going to hit 97? Well, you hit it when it's 2-0 and you can start the bat just a little earlier.
Let's see what Jerry Manuel wants to do here. Murphy, you know, he's getting his hits, but he hasn't been tearing the cover off the ball. Coming in right, hitting 241. See, you could conceivably put a bunt on. I doubt it.
Into a double play his last time up. 0 for 2 on the night. Up there swinging. 0-1. Jeff Francoeur, who homered his last time up, waiting on deck. Mets with their opportunity here in the 6th inning against Jimenez. Remember, the Rockies have a very, very good bullpen from the 7th inning on. One and one to Murphy. We've got Franklin Morales, the hard-throwing lefty who's just been converted to the bullpen. Rafael Betancourt, they just picked up from the Indians, their setup man. And then Houston Street, who's been almost perfect as their closer.
Lights out. 25 for 26, I believe, Street on the season.
You can see that bad April that Jimenez had there. Boy, he's been lights out ever since. This is that big swing pitch right here. 1-1 count with men on base.
Got a double play from Murphy before as we looked at the defense. Double play depth on that little split finger away to Murphy.
2-1 now to Daniel.
Well, he missed with the slider. He's been struggling with his command this inning. Got to be geared on that fastball here.
Tulowitzki keeping his eye on Castillo at second base. That's opening up that shortstop hole a little bit for Murphy. Pulled through the hole, a base hit. Castillo will be held at third by Razor Shanti. Runs through the stop sign and scores easily. An RBI single for Daniel Murphy, and it pulls the Mets within a run at 3-2.
Well, behind the count, fastball down the pipe. Beautifully done.
Good hitting by Murphy. Hop had no intention of throwing home. Wanted to keep the double play in order. And watch what Louis does. When he comes around third base, he is held by Shines, but he takes a peek at the right field. Once he sees Hop not doing anything to throw home, he proceeded to home plate by himself.
Very heads up by Luis.
Third run batted into the year for Murphy, and it was the right play by Hop. You want to make sure you keep that go-ahead run out of scoring position and keep the tying run from getting to third. So now the tying run is at second, the potential go-ahead run at first, and Francoeur, who homered his last time up, steps in. And Jeff takes a fastball for a strike.
Got a hanging breaking ball here and got the Mets on the board. And he continues his hot hand.
15 RBIs now in 13 games as a Met. Blowing away with the slider, 1-1.
All of a sudden, Jimenez has lost command of his secondary pitches.
3 straight hits. Castillo with the infield hit. Right single through the hole into left, and Murphy drove home Castillo with a base hit to right. Low pitch count for Jimenez. And the Mets trying to get him here in the 6th.
You got to look fastball in if you're Francoeur.
Drives one to right field. Chasing Hop back, but he has room. Tagging at second is right. He'll easily go to third. So the tying run now at third with 1 out. So a productive out for Francoeur. The first out of the inning.
And he hit that ball right on the nose. Trying to go to right field the whole time. Congrats from his teammates.
Too much plate, and you're right, Ronnie. He was set up to go up the middle. Can't drive him in. The second best is to get that runner in the third base. David Wright seeing it's a fly ball caught, tags up wisely. The Mets are in good shape to tie this ball game.
And so it's Corey Sullivan, the former Rocky, who gets the chance here. Sullivan, who spent 4 years with Colorado, got his bulk of his playing time in 05 and 06. Never a big RBI guy, but he's got a big RBI opportunity here.
Well, we talked about Jimenez not having command of his breaking ball as a hitter. Boy, go up there, first ball, fastball hitting.
And he swings and misses that fastball, 0-1. Sullivan has walked and grounded to second base.
Well, double play depth again. Got a nice hole between first and second.
And Sullivan drives one to right field. White tags at third. Hop with the catch. Here comes White to the plate. Hop's throw, not in time. Murphy down to second. The Mets have tied it, and Murphy moves into scoring position with the lead run. Sacrifice fly for Sullivan to get the tying run home.
Well, Hop makes some boo-boo right here of overthrowing the cutoff man, and Murph wisely spies it, sees it, and tags up. So you watch him tag up now, and you can watch the fly to the ball, and well, he went a little helter-skelter there, but he still got the job done.
So a big at bat for Sullivan as he gets the tying run in, and Murphy now down to second. Santos looking to get the lead run home with 2 out, and he takes high for ball 1. Santos tonight twice has hit ground balls. 0 for 2. That's rallying for 2 runs here in the 6th inning to get Oliver Perez off the hook and tie the game. Nice. This team has a different energy right now than they had a week ago.
It's nice watching Frank Curry. We saw that shot on the bench. He's always chirping, talking, alive, lots of energy.
Well, for so long it was an exercise in futility. Now they're starting to get the little things done.
And a curveball in for a strike. Different look from Jimenez.
Nice at bat by Sullivan there. Nice at bat by Francoeur. A lot of nice at bats in this inning.
A nice base running too. All the things you need to do to get back in a game when you have a talented pitcher out there.
And what you need to do to get back in a season. As Santos lifts one to right, and Hop is there to play it. That ends the inning. But the Mets rally for 2 to tie. Luis Castillo got it started with an infield hit. White and Murphy with base hits. And then Sullivan with the sacrifice fly to tie it. 3-3 as we go to the 7th. It is the faster, easier, and greener way to Citi Field. Get to the Mets' new world-class home of amazing and visit Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX for your tickets now. Well, Brian Stokes after a 1-2-3-6. Mets rally to tie it, and Stokes is right back out there for the 7th. Against 2, 3, and 4 in the Colorado batting order, Clint Barmes, Garrett Atkins, and Brad Hopp.
Well, this is a huge inning for Stokes and the Mets, and nice to see some fight out of the Mets there getting back in this ball game.
Barmes hit a long home run down the left field line his last time up. Bluffs a bunt and takes a strike. Barmes' 13th home run of the year. It snapped an 0 for 21 skid for Barmes. And at the time, it gave the Rockies a 3-1 lead. But the Rockies had a lot of opportunities to add some more runs in this game as you look at the Barmes home run.
And he knew it as soon as it touched the bat.
All the Colorado runs coming on 2 swings by Tulowitzki and Barnes as Stokes strikes him out with a breaking ball. His second strikeout, and 4 faced and 4 retired for Stokes. Here's your Aflac trivia question. The 4 players in Major League history to have 45 or more doubles in each of 5 seasons. I believe we asked that because one of those individuals is here tonight.
Might not be on the field, but he's here. Absolutely.
Here's Garrett Atkins, who's 0 for 2 and a walk, and he takes a strike. Atkins getting the start at first base in place of that guy. 1-1 to Atkins. Sorry, did I give that away? Well, we asked for 4 guys.
4, so you get only
one.
Get the other 3.
It's only 1.
It's only a 25% giveaway. There's a good slider for a strike. 1-2.
I gotta believe Pete Rose could be in there. Stan Musial.
Stokes is looking good.
Yeah, good slider.
Popped up. And Castillo with the call. And the catch, 2 out. We're still giving him mock cheers.
I hope Louis is enjoying as much as I am, but I just really like that this has become a thing now with the Mets fans, that when Louis gets the pop-up, he gets an unusually loud cheer.
But you know what? It's okay, because as we said before, ever since he dropped the ball, he's been playing out of his mind. And by the way, he catches almost every pop-up with 2 hands now.
Just about.
2 out and nobody on. Here's Brad Hopp. You know, there are always lessons to be learned. They always say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
It's allowed it
Learn
that event to make it stronger.
You're supposed to learn from your mistakes. And you are right. Stokes is looking terrific. He's got great command of his breaking stuff. And, you know, they get the reports on him. And if you're going to face a guy like Stokes who throws hard, you're going to look for the fastball. And if he can get that curveball over consistently, it just makes it much more difficult.
Line to left field, and Sullivan has to play it on a hop. So Brad Hopp has his second hit of the night. A 2-out single.
Pretty nice at bat right there.
Well, you can see why Hopp is having a good season this year. He's hit a ball to right field, hooked it in the right field, hit a bullet to Sullivan for an out, and now another base hit to left field, just using the entire ball field.
And you got a red-hot Tulowitzki up.
So a dangerous spot here. Tulowitzki hit a long 2-run homer to left center in the second. And since then he has been walked twice. Tulowitzki on the 8th of June had 5 home runs. He's had 14 since the 8th of June, and he lines that one over short for a base hit. Hopp turns second. He'll go over to third. Pagan's throw will have to go to second. So a pair of 2-out singles for Hopp and Tulowitzki, and the Rockies have runners at the corners with 2 down.
Up and in fastball. Tulowitzki gets jammed just enough. Little soft liner.
Good hops by Alex there.
Dan Worthen out to the mound to talk to Stokes, who's trying to finish his second inning of relief and trying to keep that game tied with Spilborg as a right-hand batter coming up. Behind him is Stewart, so they'll get the lefty up in the bullpen. And Perpetual Pedro is on call.
Well, Danny Worthen's coming out here. A couple things he wants to do. One, he wants to say, hey, don't let those 2 hits bother you. You're throwing the ball great. Let's just get this out. This is the game plan on Spielberg, because Dan Worth and Jerry Manuel both know that these games, like you said, Keith, are just so important. They're almost like seventh game of World Series for this ball club where they're at right now.
Spielberg's 0 for 3 tonight. Popped up, hit a fly ball down the right field line that Frank Kerr made a nice play on, and then hit into a fielder's choice to David Wright his last time, and takes the fastball up and in for ball 1.
Spielberg hitting .270 with runners in scoring position this year.
Hopp is at third. Tulowitzki at first with 2 out. Tie game, 7th inning. And Stokes falls behind Spielberg's 2-0. If Spielberg gets on, then Feliciano would come in to face Stewart. And there's only one right-handed bat on the Colorado bench, and that's their backup catcher, Torrealba. So it would definitely be Stewart. Yeah, there's a slider for a strike.
Pretty good 2-0 breaking ball right there, Ronnie.
Well, clearly Brian has a lot more confidence in this pitch right now.
He's got it working tonight.
Spielberg grounds one to Castillo. Louis gets in front of it. Side retired. 2 terrific innings of relief for Brian Stokes. 7th inning stretch time at Citi Field. Mets and Rockies tied at 3. Battling a blister, the Staten Island native hopes to pitch tomorrow night, and right now the plan is for him to go against Mike Pelfrey. Santana tries to bounce back Wednesday night against Jason Hamill, and then Jonathan Neese tries to build on that terrific start in Houston as he takes on the red-hot Jorge De La Rosa on Thursday. Home 7th inning, Alex Cora leads off and takes high from Ubaldo Jimenez. Cora 0 for 2. He's popped to third and grounded to third.
This is one of those at-bats where Alex usually won't swing until he gets a strike. Trying to work a walk.
Jeremy Reed has come out on deck to bat for Brian Stokes. And then Angel Pagan here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, he's got both corner infielders in, respecting the bunt.
2-1 to Cora.
And I just don't like the first baseman, Atkins, playing in. Now he's moving back.
Pulled down to first base. Good thing he was playing back, at least for the Rockies. 3-1 put out for the first down.
Absolutely. He was in the pitch before. That was a base hit. Nice play. Nice backhand. Good defense on the infield tonight by the Rockies. They fielded everything. Had some tough chances.
Jimenez running to first base. He's like a gazelle.
Yep.
What an athlete.
I think it's the stirrups that make him look faster. Well, Brian Stokes, a job well done. Now Jeremy Reed bats for him with 1 out, and he checks his swing, and he went around, 0-1. Jeremy has done a tremendous job as a pinch hitter. As Pedro Feliciano gets set to pitch in the 8th inning.
And I believe the Rockies have right-hander Matt Daly up.
A Queens native. Went to high school in Garden City.
Very nice.
There's Matt, who was thrilled to be making his return to New York. Went to a lot of games at Shea Stadium growing up.
He's a former Bucknell Bison, isn't he?
Yep. Angel Pagan on deck.
They don't need the S in Bucknell.
No, only in Buffalo. It's the 0-2, and he got him with the fastball. So 3 pitches, and Jimenez disposes of Jeremy Reed for the 2nd out. Only the 4th strikeout for Jimenez, who came into the night 9th in the National League in strikeouts.
Up the ladder and got him.
Because the Mets as a team have been the toughest team to strike out in the National League. So 2 out now. Angel Pagan bats and takes high. Pagan tonight 0 for 3, twice his flied out, and in between took a call 3rd strike in the 3rd. And tries to drag a bunt. A little too hard. Barmes backhands it.
Whoa.
Got him at first base. Interesting decision by Barmes, but he got just enough on the throw to get Pagan and end the inning. On to the 8th. Feliciano on to pitch for the Mets. Game tied at 3. Feliciano on to make his 55th appearance of the year.
I think he's going to shatter his record from last year, 86 appearances. Appeared in yesterday's game, 2/3 of an inning, got a strikeout, and here to face the left-hander Ian Stewart.
On a pace now for 91 appearances this year, perpetual Pedro. Stewart is 0 for 3, grounded out twice and struck out. Well, the Rockies have had a ton of opportunities in this game, but their only runs came on 2 home runs by Tulowitzki and Barmes. They had a runner at 3rd with 1 out in the 3rd. They didn't score. They had the bases loaded in the 4th. They didn't score. They got 2 aboard after the Barmes home run in the 5th and didn't score. And they got 2 on in the 7th and didn't score.
They've left 9 men on base.
And Stewart pops one up. Long run for anybody. Cora and Sullivan, and nobody gets this. Cora hit that tarp very hard.
Nice effort by Alex.
Unfortunately, able to get up and walk away.
A long way to run. That's called the triangle right there. We all three converge.
And Alex slid very late.
He hit that awfully hard.
He's one tough cookie, you know.
He got a nice little.
He could be on my team any day.
Got a nice applause from the Met fans.
Any day.
And no matter what his batting average is, he should be appreciated greatly by every Met fan for what he's done this year. Far more than anybody could have expected.
In a season that sometimes can be defined so far this year by injuries, he's a guy that's playing shortstop and not missing a day with a broken thumb.
Stewart goes down swinging. Foul tip held by Santos, and that's the first out in the top of the 8th. Now let's see where Jerry goes from here.
Well, it is bottom of the order, but still, Iannetta has 11 home runs, but this is a big yard.
And hitting .308 against left-handers. But it looks like he's going to stick with Pedro to face Iannetta, who tonight has been hit by a pitch, drawn a walk, and flied to right. Well, Sean Green up in the bullpen.
He's probably thinking here, Gary, that if they pinch hit, they've only got the left-handers on the bench, so he's going to keep Feliciano in his juego.
And one of those left-handers, Seth Smith, has come out on deck. And that's a great point, Keith, because the only right-handed bat is the backup catcher, Torrealba. But you've got quality lefties like Smith and Todd Helton sitting on that bench. 1-1 to Iannetta, and he comes inside with the cutter. Rockies have been a hot team away from Colorado. They've won 16 of their last 21 road games. And overall this season, 4 games over 500 on the road for a team that traditionally has played horribly away from Colorado. And Feliciano coming inside and missing, and now he's behind Iannetta 3-1.
It's a quiet crowd tonight, huh? They kind of settled in. Like Houston, yeah?
Well, they've had a few moments to cheer. And Iannetta takes the strike. 3-2.
Charlie Relaford, you have to say he has been consistent on that low pitch.
He's been a pitcher's umpire today. And you're right, no gripe.
He's drawn a lot of withering looks from hitters, not so much from pitchers.
He gave one out himself. A little withering look.
Quick pitch, swing and a foul back. With Feliciano coming out of that stretch with no stop at all, which you can do with nobody on base, but that's that move Chad Bradford used to use.
They moved, you can see that quick pitch, just going right to it, not delaying. Something that was brought over from the Oakland A's with Peterson was with Bradford.
Iannetta hits one up the middle, and he's aboard with a base hit. So the Rockies get the lead run aboard with 1 out. Seth Smith up to pinch hit. First we'll check in with Chris Carlin with a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. All right, Chris Carpenter pitching that game for St. Louis. So here is Smith, who's played the bulk of the left field for the Rockies.
He's been their big pinch hitter. 12 for 26 as a pinch hitter with 7 ribeye steaks. That's almost 500.
Well, that's how he established himself late in the 2007 season. He came up and had some huge hits during that big 21 out of 22 stretch for the Rockies.
5 for 16 against lefties with a home run.
1 out and 1 on, and Smith swings and misses at the cutter. 0-1.
I want to say he got that hit that scored Halladay. I mean, Holiday in that big game where Holiday, of course, we still don't know whether he touched home plate.
The one-game wild card playoff against Trevor Hoffman. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2 to Smith.
Big cut right there from Smith. Slider away enough. He just pulled off.
Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Feliciano gets Seth Smith on 3 pitches. And that's the second out of the inning.
When you have something that's working, stay with it.
If you're ahead in the count, just expand the strike zone, as they say. See if they go fishing, and he did.
Well, you got the right-hand batting Dexter Fowler coming up. And Jerry Manuel's going to run the string here with Feliciano here in the 8th inning. Fowler has struck out 3 times, but in between he ripped a double off the wall and left. You got Iannetta, a slow runner at first with 2 out. And Fowler takes a fastball for a strike. Dexter Fowler, who was recruited to play baseball at Miami and recruited to play basketball at Harvard.
Whoa. Very nice.
Sorry I said that in your presence. That's
all right.
No, not you.
Harvard.
The Yale guy.
Harvard, very good.
Here you see the lefty-righty splits on Feliciano. Staying in to face the righties in this inning. 1-1 to Fowler. Hit in the air to center field. Playable for Pagan. And so Feliciano with an impressive 8th inning, getting lefties and righties both. 3-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. That's it. Their big hitters up. Geico Sports Night tonight after the post game and at 1 a.m. right here on SNY. In case you missed the news earlier today, the Mets fired Tony Bernazard. In the course of announcing it, Omar Minaya created a firestorm by calling out the Daily News reporter Adam Rubin. Later sort of apologized, and not a great day for the Mets off the field, but they're trying to make it a good day on it as they face the veteran Juan Rincon in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, the last time I went out early to collect the papers was when I was a kid when Ali Frazier fought. I'll be out there early tomorrow morning, I'll tell you that. Rincon has pitched in 416 Major League games, Detroit and Cleveland the last couple of years, but did his best work for Minnesota Twins.
30-year-old Venezuelan takes on Luis Castillo, who's having another big night, a single and a double, and he scored a run, 2 for 3. It'll be Castillo, then David Wright, and Daniel Murphy. Those are the same hitters the Mets had up in the 6th inning when they rallied for 2 runs to tie the game against Ubaldo Jimenez, who leads after 7, having allowed 3 runs and 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. A no decision for Jimenez. We were talking about that with Jimenez. Here's a guy who looked so impressive early on, yet kind of found his way into a no decision tonight.
Well, that is the date of the drop pop-up, and that's what he's done since.
6 weeks and 6 very impressive ones for Castillo.
Boy, he and Stewart way in at third base. Got to respect the bunt.
If I were to bunt Louis, you want to take that ball to first base, I think, because try to beat Rincon over there. Atkins, although he's at first, his natural position is third base.
2-1 to Castillo, and he takes a knee-high strike. 93 from Rincon, 2-2. Frankie Rodriguez hoping for a save opportunity. Probably will come on in the 9th regardless. Boy, to the backstop, 3-2. Well, the last thing in the world Rincon wants to do is walk Castillo to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Just hung on to that one a little too long, huh, Ronnie?
I think that personally, Castillo is more of a single hitter. Whenever I would get Castillo 2-2, I'm going to throw him a fastball, make him put the ball in play. Danger now of losing him to a walk.
And he walked him, threw it all the way to the backstop. So after bouncing one to the backstop, he airmails one to the backstop, and the veteran Rincon walks Castillo, leading off the 8th.
Well, he threw that 2-2 slider, which I question, and this is little Archie Bell right there. Jump ball.
Not what Jim Tracy wanted to see. Bob Apodaca. In his time in Colorado, Apodaca has seen a lot of bad pitching. This year he's seen mostly good pitching. They've had a terrific year pitching in Colorado. Mets trying to rally against the Rockies bullpen in the bottom of the 8th in a 3-3 game. David Wright is 2 for 3 on the night.
Good hit and run here, Garrett.
It's hard to hit and run with a guy throwing balls to the backstop.
That's true. You can get a count, though.
Hard to zone in, right? When a guy's throwing the backstop, the first pitch is over your head. Daniel Murphy on deck.
Murphy had a clutch hit his last time up to drive in a run.
Look at
another
this.
one high, and Rincon having all sorts of problems, not even coming close. And behind 2-0, and that'll send Apodaca out to the mound.
That is alarming.
Boy, he better have some pearls of wisdom, because I don't know what you say to a guy after he's thrown 3 balls where the catcher has the leap for all 3.
I mean, you would not expect this from a veteran pitcher, would you, Ronnie?
No.
How about get the ball down?
Yeah.
Follow through.
Aim for his foot, the catcher's foot.
Yeah, but he tried that, and he bounced it to the backstop.
Well, it looks like he's trying to throw a little cutter, and it's just coming out of his hand a little too early.
My feeling here for David is States.
Franklin Morales, the left-hander. Matt Daly, the right-hander, up in the Rockies bullpen.
Keith, you got to take this pitch, don't you? I mean, I know 2-0 is a hitter's count, but
I'd be very disciplined looking for my fastball to hit. Anything else, I'm not swinging.
And Davis takes low and inside, ball 3. So a little meltdown here from the veteran Juan Rincon, pitching for a Rockies bullpen that has been flawless lately. He walked Castillo, now he's behind Wright 3-0. And David takes ball 4. Wow. Back-to-back walks to start the bottom of the 8th. And Rincon looking disgusted with himself.
Yep, that's low even for Relaford. There you go. Let's go. Are you got him ready?
Well, Rincon, who began his year in Detroit, coming to Colorado in May, and he has now walked 10 batters in 12 innings since joining the Rockies.
And the Mets might be the only team in the National League or in baseball that have a 4th place hitter who might be bunting.
And you can see now, this late in the ball game, even though Murph's hitting cleanup, yes, he's hitting cleanup. You've got to be playing in.
Only his third career game in the cleanup spot the last 3 days. And a base hit to drive and a run his last time up. Rockies are hedging on their bunt defense. And Daniel up there to swing and takes it low for ball one. And maybe the way Rincona's going, he just have to take a strike.
This is incredible. He has to take a strike.
Yes.
You got to.
I mean, he was 2-2 on Castillo, and since then he's thrown 7 straight balls, and most of them haven't been close.
I mean, Rincon's so tight, I think he's squeaking out there.
And Murphy cuts and misses. That's a big surprise there.
Big surprise on a take, and he swung on a bad slider.
That's a ball. That's ball 2. Wow.
I guess he figured he was going to get a cookie. So he helped Rincon out. Now it's 1-1 to Daniel. Big difference. 2 on and nobody out. And he's up there to bunt now, and he awkwardly tries to hold off, and he did. They say he got the bat back, and it's 2-1.
Jerry can take the bunt off now. He's got the Rockies very much worried about a sacrifice. He can put a hit and run on, even though you've got a guy that's all over the place.
Boy, he came awfully close to offering that ball.
Sure did.
Very interesting. You gave him 1 strike to hit, and then put the bunt on. But like you said, Keith, now all bets are off.
Atkins is staying back at first base. Now Murphy shows bunt and they come in. And with the turn towards second, now do you change it up?
You could. I think this late in the game right now, get the bunt down.
Now Atkins going back again, so he's not buying it.
I would be in. I'd have to come in.
He came running in when Murphy started to show bunt on the last pitch. And here it comes again. And Murphy pushes it beautifully to third. Stewart makes the play, but what a great bunt by Daniel Murphy, who had trouble bunting earlier in the year, worked so hard on it, and that's as good a bunt as you can get down.
That is a beauty. Right down the line, you're forcing the third baseman to vacate third. Textbook.
Look at the eyes on the ball. Keith catching the ball with the bat.
Beautiful.
So now second and third and 1 out, and they're going to walk Jeff Francoeur intentionally to fill the bases and leave it up to the former Rocky, Corey Sullivan. Now they have a lefty up in the bullpen in Franklin Morales. The Mets have 1 right-handed bat on the bench. That's Fernando Tatis. And of course, Tatis, as we all know, has had a huge problem this year hitting into double plays. So we'll see what Jerry decides to do if they bring in the lefty.
Well, this game is tied because of Corey Sullivan with that great sac fly to right field. So it would be interesting to see if you give the left-hander another chance to beat his former club.
So there's ball 4 to Francoeur, who homered earlier tonight. So 3 walks in the inning, this one intentional. And let's see what Jim Tracy does.
There he goes.
So he'll make the pitching change and bring in the lefty Morales, and we'll see whether Jerry switches off and lets Tatis bat, or whether he stays with the former Rocky Sullivan, who delivered the tying run. All that will unfold when we come back to Citi Field. 3-3. Pitching change brought to you by Lincoln Mercury.
He had to
free with IOTV. By Geico, by Subway, by Citi, by Bob's Discount Furniture, and by Toshiba, the laptop expert. Well, the young left-hander Franklin Morales, who had never pitched in relief before this season, now a valued member of that Colorado bullpen.
Well, he signed with the Rockies when he was 16 years old. He's 23 years young now, from Venezuela. In the postseason in 2007, had 2 starts and 2 relief appearances, 1 outstanding start. Great stuff, throws awfully hard. Tatis has his work cut out for him.
So Fernando Tatis batting for Corey Sullivan with the bases loaded, 1 out, tie game, 8th inning.
And you can see double play depth in the middle. And boy, the third baseman is going to come over there. Let's take a peek and see if he's going to come in a little bit.
Fernando has hit into 13 ground ball double plays this year in just 188 at bats, and you know that's got to be on everybody's mind here. Tatis needs to get that ball in the air. And he takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Juan Rincon retired only 1 batter, and that was on Murphy's sacrifice. He walked 3, one of them intentional, to fill the bases. Now Morales trying to bail him out.
Got to be alive for Castillo. This young man has a good breaking ball. Tends to throw in the dirt, though.
Swing and a miss.
That's some serious
speed pitch, 0-2.
Wow. That's a great changeup right there. Ball
Beautiful.
never got there.
Behind Tatis is Omir Santos.
What a pitch.
Castillo faking down the line. And Tatis hits it in the air to deep left center field. Bucko spillboards onto the track, looking up. It's out of here! A pinch hit grand slam for Fernando Tatis. Second grand slam of the year for Tatis. His 5th home run has given the Mets a 7-3 lead.
Well, it's the Rockies who came into this game doing damage with the bases loaded, and it's the Mets hitting only .215 with the bases loaded so far this season with a big hit from Tatis.
Fernando first made his name as a Grand Slam artist with the Cardinals 10 years ago. That's his 8th career Grand Slam on an 0-2 pitch.
0-2 changeup. Not a very good pitch selection.
Unlike the pitch before, Keith, where it darted down and away, this one stayed true in the middle of the plate. And Citi Field playing a little smaller tonight.
The last pinch hit grand slam by a Met, Todd Pratt, 9 years ago. Fernando Tatis plates 4 with 1 big swing. 7-3 New York pitching change. We'll be right back.
Change up the pitch prior in a beautiful spot, but guess what? He got that one over the middle, and Fernando all over it. And boy, he's got to feel good. It's been a tough year for Fernando.
Matt Daly out of Garden City High School on Long Island comes on to pitch. And there you see the reaction from the Mets dugout to that big swing by Fernando Tatis.
Easy on the high five that JJ puts now with that right arm. Go easy.
And Santos takes a strike, 1-1.
Oh, there you go.
Levo pushing him out for a curtain call.
Worthy of a curtain call, absolutely.
Well, it's been such a rough year for Tatis, but that is a big shining moment. Fouled off Iannetta and back 1-2. Matt Daly, who was born in Queens, grew up coming to Met games at Shea Stadium, and boy, he's got to be just on top of the world to be pitching here.
Boy, can you imagine the heart rate of Mr. Daly in this ball game? He's done a nice job for them, though, really handling the right-handed hitters. There's Morales and Tatis. They're two different faces in this game.
Santos lifts one to left, and Spilborg comes on. That's the second out of the inning. Well, it was all set up by the wildness of Juan Rincon, who couldn't throw a strike. Left with the bases loaded. Morales came on, got ahead on Tatis 0-2, and then Tatis parked it.
How about this Mets offense, guys? Last 3 days.
22 runs in 3 days in Houston, and 7 more runs tonight. Here's Alex Cora slashing one to third, caught by Stewart to end the inning. But a game-changing swing by Fernando Tatis. His 8th career grand slam stops the tie and makes everybody at Citi Field happy. 7-3. More doubles, each of 5 seasons. One of them here, that's Todd Helton. The others from yesteryear. Trey Speaker, Joey Medwick, and Stan Musial.
Last guy to triple crown the National League, Joe Ducky Medwick, and Trey Speaker had to be there. He's all-time doubles leader.
Right after the game, be sure to join Chris Carlin and Bobby Ojeda for tonight's highlights, exclusive interviews. We'll hear from Fernando Tatis about his game-changing pinch hit grand slam. Terry's post-game reactions, reaction to the pre-game nonsense as well, all on Lincoln Mercury post-game live immediately after tonight's game and after all 162 Met games right here on SNY.
Frankie pitched on Saturday in Houston, struggled a little, giving up a couple of runs and 3 hits in an inning of work. Has some runs to work with here, though, courtesy of Mr. Tatis.
It seems every time it looks like Frankie might get a save situation, the Mets get 1 run too many. He has not had a save chance since the All-Star break.
Well, the Mets have had a nice offensive game, haven't they? Frank Kerr moved the runner over. You saw Sullivan with the sacrifice fly. Murphy with the key bunt down the line. Doing all those little things that you need to max out an offense.
1-2 to Barmes. Garrett Atkins on deck, and then Brad Hopp here in the ninth.
They just may have bottomed out that 3-game series in Washington, Gary. You know, hit bottom, and all you can do when you hit bottom is come up.
Popped up. In comes Murphy to play it. 1 out.
You know, a lot of times, Keith, I don't know if you feel like this, a lot of times within a season, when you're struggling, you go someplace where you're supposed to win games and you don't, it's almost like you're embarrassed a little bit, you know, and you say to yourself, boy, how can we do that? And it kind of is a wake-up call, and kind of a slap in the face that, hey, you know what, we're going to get embarrassed the rest of the season if we don't kick it up to another gear, and they have.
And I think also that off day on Thursday was very important, because if you played poorly and kind of, I don't want to use the word embarrassed yourself, but if you played well below your capabilities for a long period of time, sometimes the day can make a difference.
Yeah, just to get away from it for a day.
Well, it's been interesting, too, is the fact that the Mets have turned it around, even though we're only like 3 games into it, when they put Sheffield on the DL.
Yeah, you're right.
And they just seem to have responded and said, okay, enough's enough. We got to do it. Let's go.
2-1 to Atkins, who's 0 for 3 on the night. Well, Castillo's been right in the middle of everything. That's been a huge key. And the injection of Frank Kerr into this, not only the lineup, but just the mix, I think has helped as well, just in terms of re-energizing things.
Well, the play of Pagan in the leadoff slot, Castillo, who's red hot, Frank Kerr with that energy, all of that is all for naught, though, if you don't get the starting pitching you need. And the Mets got a solid effort, or a good effort from Oliver, to just leave it at 3 runs, considering all the trouble he was in.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a changeup. Frankie Rodriguez fans Garrett Atkins, 2 down in the ninth.
Oh, the old changeup.
Boy, he's got a good one, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. With the motion to go with it, too.
Fernando likes that pitch. You're right about that. It's all motion, and the ball just never gets there.
Like it's thrown through a brick wall.
Yep.
So now the Rockies are down to their final out. Brad Hopp 2 for 4 on the night. If the Mets win this game, they will draw within 6.5 of the Rockies for the wild card lead in the National League. And yes, there will still be 7 teams in front of them, but you pick up ground on the leader with this much time to play in the season, you know that you're still alive.
You can only take care of your business. You can't worry about that. You have to play well. You have to score some runs, which they're doing now. Get some good pitching.
0-1 to Hopp. Grounded to the right side. Castillo is there. And the ball game is over. Frankie Rodriguez closes it out. Fernando Tatis with one giant blow for the Mets. An 8th inning pinch hit grand slam snaps a 3-3 tie and propels the Mets to their 3rd straight victory. The Mets have now scored 29 runs in their last 4 games.
Well, in a game where the Colorado Rockies came in red hot with their bullpen that's been almost unbeatable. It's the Mets bullpen with 4 innings of no run relief, which was the difference. And of course, again, 7 more runs on board for the Mets.
Well, the beginning of a 4-game series with the wild card lead.